the power. Hey everybody, Digibobcat here, and they have given us another ghost type in Pokemon Unite, Dragapult. I really like that they're giving us so many dragon or ghost types, but this one it happens to be a dragon too. I think it's also the first dragon type we have that has not been an all-rounder. I'd have to double check that, but I think it might be the first dragon we have that was an attacker. So let's go over some of his moves here. You start off with Astonish and Quick Attack you get to choose between. So Astonish, it doesn't really have a lot of damage. You probably won't be doing a lot of securing with it, but it does have a slight area of effect, and it has a slow. It'll slow the enemy down for just a little bit of time. It helps them keep them in your attack range. So next you have a Quick Attack. Quick Attack is essentially your dash, but it also gives you a basic attack speed boost. After you use it, it'll help build up your boosted attack gauge here. One of the most important things to know about Dragapult is how its boosted attack works. As you attack and deal damage either with your basic attack or your moves, you build this boosted gauge underneath your health bar. If you quit attacking, it'll start depleting. So, anything, Quick Attack, Rapid Fire Scarf, that'll help increase your attack speed will get you this bar charged quicker. When it's fully charged, you start dealing more damage with your basic attacks, and they start doing damage in an area of effect. So the item setup for Dragapult is pretty simple. Since it relies heavily on basic attacks to do its damage, you can't go wrong with a muscle band. It gives you a little bit of extra attack speed, some attack, and the percent damage bonus on using your basic attacks is really good. It's 3% of the opposing Pokemon's remaining HP, so at the start of a fight, you can really whittle down your opponent's health. For the second slot, I like to run Rapid Fire Scarf. It gives you even more basic attack speed, and it helps you build up your boosted gauge so that you can get to max damage quicker. Plus, once your boosted gauge is full, you'll be doing your max damage even faster. But if you didn't want to run a Rapid Fire Scarf, I could see swapping it out for, say, a Focus Band. You could swap it out for maybe a Razor Claw if you wanted to. Give you even more crit chance, and you get that slow proc as well if you wanted to help keep your enemies in range. But typically I would say run a Muscle Band, a Rapid Fire Scarf, and a Scope Lens on this Pokemon. At level 5, Dreepy evolves into Dracloak. Let's go ahead and get up to it, and you get your first choice of moves. In this case, it is Dragon Dance or Phantom Force. I kind of like Phantom Force better. It's another stealth move. Really cool. It also helps build up your boosted attack gauge while you're in stealth. And it gives you a attack speed boost. So it also, not only does it just passively build up your boosted gauge, but it helps you in the fact that you're attacking faster. Plus, when you get your boosted gauge full again, you're doing that much more damage because it's just your basic attacks are hitting so hard. Then at level 7, you get your next choice of moves. Let's go ahead and boost up to there. Shadow Ball or Dragon's Breath, but we're going the full ghost form here. The Shadow Ball puts a mark on your target, and it also gives you a little bit of a dash in a movement direction. So say you're trying to close the gap, you can just use Shadow Ball, and you're going to move forward a little bit. I didn't do it there. I think you have to be hitting the directional at the same time. Yeah, you do. So you get a little bit of a dash there. And you start doing more damage. And on the fourth attack, after the mark will disappear, and you'll deal even more damage, and you'll get some health back. See, the mark just vanished. This will pass through and hit multiple targets. So now you see, I've got it on both of these here. So basically, I would use Shadow Ball and then use Phantom Force to give myself even more attack speed. And you can just rapidly get all of your damage in right there. Plus, if you're running your Razor Claw or your Rapid Fire Scarf, you're doing it that much more. At level 9, you're going to evolve into Dragapult. You get your Unite move, which is different from all other Unite moves in the game that we have seen currently. It does not give you movement speed or damage increase that a normal, or the shielding that a normal Unite move would give you. It just acts like another attack. It fires off 2 Dreepy. It's called Dreep and Destroy. It'll fire off 2 Dreepy at 2 different Pokemon, or if there's only 1 Pokemon in range, it'll fire it at both Dreepy at the 1. It has 2 charges. It recharges in about 7 seconds. In between charges, it's not so you can use it quite more often. It does quite a bit of damage, so you can fire off. Well, we had this other Baltoy up here, but it'll fire off. If you can angle it so you're only attacking one, it'll hit both. Both of them will hit that one. Now, it will work, even though it doesn't work as a traditional Unite move, it still will work with a Buddy Barrier or an Energy Amplifier. So the other thing to note about Phantom Force is if you knock out an opponent Pokemon, you get a permanent attack damage boost for the rest of the match. It's kind of like a built-in attack weight, only you have to knock out the enemy instead of scoring. But it is really good. The damage will stay there, and it probably, once it racks up a little bit, it'll probably be pretty noticeable. I don't know if it works off of assists or not, or if it's just your own knockouts, but you don't even have to have Phantom Force active to do it. It just has to be on, you just have to have it selected. So the other thing to note about Phantom Force is that you can get knocked out of your stealth with it. If you use your stealth and you come into this little ring range there, you get that yellow bar underneath you, and it will knock you out of your stealth. So if you get too close. So they'll also have an indicator telling you that, hey, there is a Dragapult nearby. The same thing, kind of the same thing with Sableye. You do get knocked out of your stealth there if you're too close. So there is some counterplay to it. They can't see you right away, so you've got a little bit of time to get away. Especially if you're running an X speed, you can kind of boost out of there. But yeah, it's just it's something to keep note of if you're either playing as Dragapult or you are playing against one. Just make sure you're aware that you can get knocked out of your stealth. You can probably also get knocked out if you come near their goal zone. Actually, maybe not. You can actually, unlike Sableye, you stay stealth around their goal zone as long as they are not there. Okay, so we're going to check out the Dragon moves on Dragapult this time, the other move set. So first off, you have Dragon Dance. When you learn this at level 5, and you learn Dragon Breath at level 7. When you use Dragon Dance, you're going to choose a direction. And then you're going to start moving in a rapid circle around that direction, attacking everything in range. It's really cool. It's kind of wonky, but I imagine any melee type Pokemon are going to have a hard time pinning you down. You can also cancel it early, and if you just want to try to use it to dodge and juke around really rapidly, you take a roundabout route to get away, but it makes you harder to hit. It does make it, unless you do cancel it early, it does make it easier to predict where you're going to stop at, though, because you do a full circle, a full 360 there. Now, the other cool thing is Dragon Breath. If you use it normally by itself, it's just a line attack. It leaves an area of effect that pulses damage. However, you can use it in the middle of your Dragon Dance. If you just tap the button while you're in your Dragon Dance, you're going to leave this trail around. It's amazing. I love it. It's very gimmicky, though. I mean, I guess you could come and do like a drive-by fly-through and strafe somebody while they're attacking somebody else. But I'm not really sure it's going to be that easy to, especially with the cooldowns, if it's going to be that easy to hit while you're doing it. Another thing to note, though, is that when you use Dragon Dance, you do reset the cooldown of Dragon's Breath so that you can use it during it. So we'll go ahead and use Dragon's Breath here. I'll use Dragon's Dance, and you see Dragon Breath has reset. So just something else to note is that you can technically get 2 uses of Dragon's Breath out. Use your first one, kind of start attacking. Use that, you get another one, and you can kind of strafe around. But they're not really going to be in the same area, and like I said, it's going to be a lot harder to control Dragon Dance and using Dragon Breath at the same time. I think Phantom Force Shadow Ball is probably going to be the moveset to do, unless you just wanted to goof around. But it does look really cool to just leave those that flaming trail as you're going. So there you have it, an introduction to Dragapult and its moves and its potential builds for it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider subscribing to the channel, and I hope to see you soon.